How China's new missile concept could cripple American air power. The PLXX has a very long range to target the tankers and other support aircraft that form the backbone of American air power. The Chinese Air Force is building a mystery missile designed to turn the tables on America's air power advantage. The weapon, tentatively known as PLXX, is a very long-range missile designed to strike enemy aircraft loitering just beyond the edge of an air battle. The point is to shoot down the tankers, airborne early warning planes, and other support aircraft that U.S. combat jets rely upon during wartime. Stripped of these forces, U.S. air power would operate at a serious disadvantage, shifting the air battle in China's favor. The new missile, spotted in 2016 at the Zhuhai Air Show, is the subject of a new article at Aviation Week and Space Technology. PLXX carries the typical PL designation common to Chinese air-to-air missiles. At 18 feet long, PLXX is thought to have a range exceeding 100 miles, the typical maximum range of air-to-air missiles. Helping hands. U.S. warplanes need plenty of support to reach their wartime potential. In that way, tankers, command and control aircraft, and reconnaissance planes are the backbone that let fighters operate at long ranges. For example, an AWACS E-3 Sentry can detect enemy aircraft at longer ranges and vector in American fighters flying with their own radars off, a technique that makes them harder to detect. AWACS planes also orchestrate the air battle, directing friendly forces against enemy forces. Airborne refueling tankers dramatically extend the range of short-range fighters such as the F-35. Without these planes, U.S. forces would operate at a severe disadvantage. Stealthy fighter jets would have to fly with their radars constantly on to search for enemies, emitting electromagnetic radiation that enemy forces could use to detect them. Coordination of the air battle would become more difficult and less efficient, controlled by individual pilots already flying their own combat missions. Deprived of the ability to refuel in midair, targets deep behind enemy lines would become off-limits and fighters would patrol at shorter ranges. Behind the air lines. China's new missile most likely would work like this. In a future air battle, a Chengdu J-20 fighter loaded with PLXX would attempt to fly around U.S. fighters to get behind them and search for a tanker or a AWACS plane. If it finds such a target, the J-20 would launch the missile from long range, then disengage. Even if the missile misses, the danger might force U.S. support aircraft to fly farther behind friendly lines, limiting their effectiveness in general. PLXX appears similar in concept to the Soviet K-100 missile. Developed by Novator, the K-100 was unique among air-to-air missiles in being a two-stage missile, using a booster rocket from the ground-based S-300 surface-to-air missile to give it range of 186 miles. K-100 was an estimated 19.7 feet long and weighed nearly 2 tons. This gave K-100 the ability to engage targets flying from 10 to 98,425 feet, and at speeds of up to 2,485 miles an hour. The U.S. military is aware of the threat to aircraft and is working to make support aircraft more survivable. The Air Force is looking to install defensive systems, including lasers, to protect tankers and other large support aircraft. It is also looking at developing a new, stealthy tanker, known as KCZ.
Chinese multi-nuke missile to strike anywhere in the world can reach U.S. in less than an hour. As early as the first half of 2018, China's People's Liberation Army is slated to commission a new multi-warhead intercontinental ballistic missile, the Dongfang 41, that can target anywhere in the world, the Global Times reports. Speaking before 2,300 delegates of the Chinese Communist Party, President Xi Jinping declared that Beijing would strive to fully transform the People's Armed Forces into a world-class military by the mid-21st century, worrying some of China's neighbors. The Dongfang 41 can reportedly reach speeds up to Mach 10 and uses dummy flares to throw off enemy air defense systems. The missile has been tested 8 times since 2012, the India Times reported, leading analysts to believe it must have progressed considerably if the PLA is prepared to declare the missile at operational capability. The 8th test occurred sometime in early November, the South China Morning Post said, without specifying a location except for the country's western desert area. The report did not specify the exact date the test occurred, either. A TV broadcaster who formerly belonged to the PLA rocket force said the missile was probably already in service, since trial tests can be conducted after the projectile is formally commissioned. According to Global Security, the missile has a range of 10,000 to 12,000 kilometers, uses solid fuel propellant, has an estimated length of 15 meters and a diameter of about 2 meters, and has a mass of roughly 30,000 kilograms. The missile will carry up to 10 nuclear warheads, each of which can target separately, the Global Times reported, but added, China does not have an arms race agenda and will not compete with any country for any such purpose.